Hi, everybody. My name is Armaghan Ebrahimi, and I am a solutions engineer from Sony. I'm here today to present Spresense. Spresense is a microcontroller, and basically, I'm going to focus more on what is Spresense, what feature it has, how you can develop with it, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you how we are partnered with Edge Impulse, and it helps us with the AI. So to just give you an idea what's going to be covered in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the Spresense microcontroller, so you will learn about the spec, features, and everything, development, as I mentioned. And then I have two new components that we recently added to a Spresense family. One of them is the LTE board, that's the connectivity. The other one is the HDR camera. So this is gonna, let's start with the Spresense microcontroller. I usually use this page in most of my webinars. If you have listened to any of my webinars, you have seen this. But every time I say something different. So let's start with this. Spresense has 6 ARM cores, and that is a M4F, 156 megahertz of clock. Spresense has high-resolution audio, and also it has GPS integrated in it. It doesn't need antenna. It's already there. And also, I told you it has how many cores? It has 6 cores, but it's very low power. You can develop your application, leave it in the wild for 6 months on a dime-sized battery. If you need to know how to do that, let me know. I send you the instructions and the whole project, how to do it. So if you look at the table that I have here, it gives you a little bit more detail and a spec about the Spresense. I told you about the ARM Cortex, but we have the SRAM is only 1.5 megabyte, and then you have access to digital IOs, GPIO, SPI, I2S, I2C, and UART, PWM, and all of this. And if you need to access the analog input, we have 6 channels, that is 3.3 volts. And let's talk about audio. I told you this is high-resolution audio. High-resolution audio means in the factories, you want to listen to your machine and see what's happening. This is your solution. So audio gives you 8-channel digital and then 4-channel analog. GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System, is available on Spresense. So any kind of application for transportation, logistic, drones. So, and at the end, we have the camera interface. I show a better picture, but it's very easy to attach the camera. You have a SD card for external memory, and then access to I2S. Before I move on to the next slide, so this is very low power, and also you have 6 cores. So think about applications that it needs a lot of processing, like image. Now, we see a lot of projects, good projects that we are doing, that it needs that many processors. So Spresense is suitable for that kind of applications. Now, briefly, I'm going to touch on this because I know a lot of skilled and talented people are here. Some of us are expert in AI, like Edge Impulse, and then some, they know the MCU. Some of us, we are looking for solution for IoT. So I'm just trying to cover just the base for development for Spresense. Here you see 3 different colors. This is the 3 different sections. So the bottom section is your hardware. As you see, we have the 6 cores, and then we have the SRAM, and then each of those UART, DMA, and others that you need to have at the hardware section. And then if you look at the middle section, that middle section is your OS. What we are using for Spresense is a microcontroller. We are using Nutex for Spresense. And then on top of that, we go to a little bit high level. We are supporting Arduino libraries. We work with Google, so we have, for the previous, we have TensorFlow supported in the Spresense SDK. And also we have Edge Impulse, we have CircuitPython support, and other third parties for Spresense. So this is briefly to tell you how you can get a feeling of development with the Spresense. Now I would like to show you the boards, the components, to get then you see what is the size, and if you have application with a specific needs, then you get a better idea. the one that you see in the middle, I don't know how to point to that, but okay, that is our main board. That is the brain. Everything is happening. That's the 6 cores that we are talking about. To support that, we have the extension board. You see on the top page on the left side of me, I think it's going to be right side. And then we have the camera board. So this is the Spresense kit. This is a production board. This is what you can put in your device and send it out there. And then you have the extension board to make the prototyping faster, and it gives you some access to put other Arduino, for example, boards on it. And also the camera, as you see, camera is very easy to attach it to a Spresense. Let's go down. Look at the HDR camera and LTE. These are the 2 new components that we added to a Spresense family. IoT, we need connectivity. Well, there are other solutions. You can put a Wi-Fi on a Spresense, but we specifically built this extension board for a Spresense. So when I say extension board, the one that I talked about before, so that one has more access, like more channels for audio, or you get more access. But here you get connectivity plus all of those. So based on your application, you can use this extension board. I will give you a very brief overview of the characteristic of the LTE board. The camera, the new camera is HDR camera. And this one has the better features for example, night vision, which I'm going to give you briefly the spec of that also. What I like to talk about is Mainboard. Mainboard has 2 chips on it, 65602 and 65247. Each of this has a specific function. For example, if you want to do camera interface is in 65602. Why I talk about this? I mean, okay, because this is the board, this is a production board, and you can use this, but this 2 chip has been already used in smart headphones, smart Xperia headphones from Sony. So these are the chips that has been used already. And if, for us, we cannot support the volume less than 100K. So if you get to some applications, you are building some devices that it goes in that direction, I can help you, then we can provide you the chip. But here, this is the board, and it's not that big. You can create your applications for that. Here, this is another flexibility or another advantage that Spresense has, is an open source software. So it can accelerate your innovation. You can access the schematics. Everything is provided on our website, by the way. And you can create whatever you want. If you want to go in that level, you have the possibility. You can create your application and take advantage of this open source software as well. Let me show you another page that is very easy to develop with Spresense. So you can do fast prototyping. I know, you don't need to do soldering most of the time. You can just put a Spresense board in the middle. You can put your sensor on top or connectivity Wi-Fi on top. And then we have the extension boards, as you see in this picture, down. So we have LTE, we have the extension board, and also we have a portable player extension board that you can use. So then you just stack this on top of each other, and you get the data, you have the edge impulse, you create your model, and then you are not happy with your sensor. Just take it out, put another one. No soldering required here. So that is another thing that it makes prototyping really fast. I know IoT market is going really fast. Sometimes by the time we want to create something, the market is ahead of us. So you can take advantage of this fast prototyping and create your applications and be on top of your game for the market. Now let me just go. I have the spec for my LTE and HDR. Then I can wrap up this basically this talk. For LTE board, we are partnered with Truephone and Soracom, and they are supporting our LTE board. If you need to see like what are the specification of our board, this is for the LTE board. We have a LTE Cat M1, and we are supporting narrowband IoT. And the size I'm presenting, I have a booth. If you come to the floor, I can show you the actual board. You can play with it, you can look at it. But for the application that you use is pretty good. So it's 45 millimeter by 50. And so you can have access to digital input and also other like the bands and other information. I just keep this for a little bit just for you guys to take a look and get familiar with our LTE board. So after this, I'm going to talk about our camera. The camera, I told you this is a new component for Spresense family. Is using the image sensor ISX019 from Sony. The advantages of this camera to the old one is this is an HDR camera. It uses the same, interface, so it's a CMOS 8-bit parallel. And I think basically the resolution is 128 by 96, about like 1.23 megapixel. And the size is pretty good, 28 millimeter by 28. And the other good thing about this, which is related to IoT applications, is outdoor. So you want to create something, put it in an agriculture field, or you want to put it outside watching a yard, or temperature is important. So this camera basically gives you that outdoor possibility. Not only that, let me show you some good pictures of the features that we have. If you look at these pictures, the top one, except the last picture for macro shot, everything is when you have the HDR on. So if you look at the bottom picture, you cannot see the first one. You cannot see the sky very clearly. But when you have the HDR on, you can see the blue sky with the clouds. For the night vision, the same thing. Actually, for the other camera that we have, this is all black. But this camera, if you put the HDR on, then you have the night vision, and you can get a good picture. For example, if you are watching a field, or if it's security camera, or those kind of applications. And then also, one of the challenges that we have with camera is sudden light transition, like when you exit from a tunnel. You see in the bottom picture, nothing is clear. You cannot see anything, right? But the top one, when the HDR is on, you can clearly see the tunnel. And also the other thing is the macro shoot. For macro shoot, you can read the boxes. So some of the applications that you need to do some tracking for packages, this could be a good solution. By the way, I know we have Sony has a lot of image sensors, but this one is, the old one was $30-something, $35, and this is a new one. It's available at Framos now, and I think it's about 70, something less than 100, and it has all these capabilities. By the way, this has been used in the conservation camera from Edge Impulse that Zach mentioned at the beginning of this Imagine event, because it's very low power and also because of all these features. So they had good engineers from Edge Impulse. They did a study and they compare, and then they selected this camera over others. So we are very proud. I like that Edge Impulse is using it for conservation. So let's wrap up about the Spresense. Why Spresense is good for IoT? Usually for IoT, we need a processor, we need a bunch of sensors, we need connectivity, we need AI, right? And let's see, what do we have? Spresense has powerful processor. It has 6 processors. It means that you can do everything at the edge. Of course, you can communicate with the cloud, but all of us know you don't want to, that's going to be expensive, that's going to be only one way. So for the recent application, we try to do everything at the edge. So with 6 cores, you can do a lot with Spresense. So not only is powerful processors, it gives you this edge computation possibility that you can use. And also it's very power efficient. most of the application is in the middle of somewhere that we can't charge them, we cannot plug them in the wall. So Spresense is very power efficient. Why is it power efficient? I had a full webinar about this. Basically, you can play with the sleep. You can put part of the chip in the sleep and do other stuff if it's not needed. So you can control that, and it's very power efficient. On top of that, you have the board. We have access to camera. Camera is very easy to connect. We have a slot for that. We have high resolution audio. We have to take advantage of this in machinery. We have some applications that they put this in a tree, in trunk of tree, to listen to bugs, because of the what's happening with the environment. Things are changing, moving. Somewhere that we had the snow, we don't have it anymore, like Sweden. So basically, the insects are moving, and one of the problems that we have nowadays is our forests are getting attacked by different insects. And so one of the applications was like taking advantage of the high resolution audio. And then the GPS is drone. So you want to have we have a project that we are working with one of the universities for research, and they are sending drones to these canopies in the forest, that places that we cannot reach, like we don't even see. And they collect the data, and then they bring it down. So those places, they need to find a location. They need something that is very low power. They need to listen to all kinds of insects. They need to take pictures. So this is something that Spresense can help, IoT applications that's suitable for Spresense. On top of that, I think when we have the LTE, you may use LoRa or Wi-Fi or others, but having an LTE board with audio out or have a SD card and all of those, it can give you the possibility to create, to target applications for IoT that you can, in your area, you have LTE access. At the end, I'm very, very happy that we are partnered with Edge Impulse. Why? Because we are not, maybe you are, but I'm not a data scientist. And that is a very complicated field, and I don't know if even if there's always something that in that field that you may not know. You may be expert in microcontrollers, or you have a very good vision to create an IoT applications, but but you can, so now with this partnership with Edge Impulse, you can create your model. How? You can collect the data, you can just do the test and do the training, and then also you can deploy that on a Spresense. And 5 minutes, 7 minutes, that's nothing. So, and then all the new features like FOMO is also supported on a Spresense. Sorry, I'm going over time. Okay. At the end, thank you so much for coming, listening to my presentation. Please come to my booth, and if you have any question, reach out, and I'd be more than happy to work with you if you need partner, if you have ideas, or if you are interested to learn more, let me know. I have very good webinars, so if you want to start with CircuitPython, NotX, whatever, let me know. I can share that with you. These are some of the information that you can connect with us and contact us. Again, thank you so much, Edge Impulse, for giving me this opportunity to talk about Spresense and this great event. Thank you so much.